What's up, everybody? Welcome back to No Control RC. So we got a cool little thing that came to us in the mail. HAIBOXING, which I think is how you say it. I'm not 100% sure, but that's how I feel it should be said. So HAIBOXING sent us this cool little 12 scale Turbo ST off-road 4x4 rig that we're actually going to take out of the box review and do a little bit of running around on it. So we're actually pretty excited because, you know, getting stuff like this is really cool. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you. We really definitely appreciate it, and we really appreciate your interest in our channel. So let's now get into the nuts and bolts of this thing and see how cool it is. All right. Take it out of the box. Sharp knife. It's a cool looking little rig. Here she is all in there. It's kind of like I said, it is 12 scale, and we're gotten used to playing around with bigger things, but got to start somewhere. You got kids and stuff around that are going to probably love this thing. Now that's kind of cool. Whoa, that's kind of, it's cool looking. What do we got for a remote? There's the remote, and you got a whole bunch of little, oh, they give you turnbuckles, and CVD, charger, the wing. We're going to have to put that on. We'll get to that stuff a little later. Let's get to the core of what we're here for. I mean, first impressions, it looks really good. Let's get these off. I'm trying to put these in one spot because I tend to lose them. Oh. Oh, it's got lights. Neat. All right, so now we got her with the body off, you know, and honestly, like I said, this is purchased through Amazon, and it right off the bat, I mean, it has a really nice professional look to it. It looks very similar to a lot of other things that we've run. It is a plastic chassis, but let's kind of get into the cooler stuff. The tires feel grippy. They feel on the harder side, but they are grippy. Okay, we come up right up front here. We'll start front corner. Now these are aluminum threaded shocks, and then, like I said, they're threaded adjustable, so you got a little bit of adjustability to it. Now turnbuckles, you got adjustability here. Like I said, and it came with extra of these and a CVD. Which, I mean, let's face it, it's pretty easy to rip a corner off one of these, regardless of what it is. We got our steering servo up here to usual little bell crank setup, which is pretty cool. Now you have your independent 45 amp ESC, so that's kind of cool. It does come with 2 batteries, and they're a Dean's connector battery, which actually creates a. We got other little battery packs in there that are this size, so we got a ton of batteries for this thing. Now the motor itself is a 3800 kV, so that's actually going to probably go pretty decent. I know I mentioned the batteries already, but I forgot to tell you the batteries are 2S. All right, so quick little wrap up. As I said on the specs, 3800 motor, 2 2S batteries, metal gears, open differentials. Actually metal CVDs, aluminum threaded shocks. It's got the nuts and bolts. It's got the core of all good quality stuff in it. So I think the last thing we got to do now, let's take it outside and do a little bit of bashing. Although it does say it goes 330 feet, which, you know, you're kind of like, oh, that doesn't seem like, this is going to be really small at 300 feet away. So I think that's more than enough distance for us. So let's go see if we can jump this thing off some stuff. All right, and lastly here, we'll touch on the little goodies that they give you. Like I brought up, they get extra turnbuckles, you got an extra CVD, and it actually comes with a few extra oddball screws and bolts and all that. Here's our wing that we can put on. We'll have to put that on. And in the bag right here, got a little extra wrench and some hex drives and wheel nuts and charger and an extra battery. No, really, you don't get stuff like that with a lot of RC cars. So if any problems you run into, like you wreck something, you're gonna be able to fix most of it right there without even having to go online or to a hobby shop. So kudos to them. That's a really cool idea. So let's go out and see if we can run this and hopefully not use any of the extra parts. All right, everybody, so we're back. We did our run with this, and we'll just cut right to it. All in all, I'm going to count this as a pretty solid win. For what this thing is, it actually performed very well. Given some of the environments we were in, on an extreme hard pack, like we're out on one of our roads, these tires like a little bit softer terrain. No fault of anything, just once we got this in a little bit softer, like into the grass and all that, it actually did get a little better traction. It's pretty responsive for what it is. It's actually pretty quick, and we were able to actually get it off a couple jumps. And it actually didn't jump half bad. So like I said, all in all, for what this is, it's a really solid rig. I actually enjoy it. Do I like a little bit bigger? Of course I do. But if you got somebody getting into it, or you just got a really small environment, performance-wise and how much power this thing has is actually pretty impressive for its size. You'll notice, like we did a bunch of donuts. You can take it to a tight environment. You could do a bunch of cyclone donuts. You can do all sorts of stuff with it and actually really get a lot of fun factor out of this. So all in all, that's what I got. I don't know if the man behind the camera wants to add anything.
So what I'll say is, overall, Brandon's right. It's a very good little truck. Enjoyed it very much, and it did much better in long, wet grass than I would have ever imagined that it would for the sheer size of it. But it handled it well. And when Brandon says we took it off a few jumps, yeah, a few of our maximum carnage ramps jumps, and
it was only,
it landed funky a bunch of times. We're not the greatest drivers in the world, so occasionally things happen, and it did take some tumbles, but we didn't break a single thing. Nothing feels loose on it. We checked it all over. The only thing I will critique myself is this controller. Me personally, it's a little too touchy. I I don't have quite the finesse Brandon does on the throttle. And if you see just a bunch of donuts, that was pretty much just me. That's about all I could do with this truck for the first minute or so until I learned to dial back my trigger finger a little bit. Because it's a little powerhouse and it will do donuts on days. Brandon was really good at driving it. Me, not so much. But as I did it a little more, I got better at it. That's just different driving styles. Brandon likes all kinds of on-road and everything else, slow crawlers, and I pretty much bash monster trucks and Baja trucks.
Yeah, you're on or off.
Yeah, I'm kind of full throttle. But overall, I mean, even the controller itself, it didn't feel overly cheap in your hand. It actually kind of looks cheaper than it feels.
Yeah, it didn't have a lot of some of the ones you'll get, they have a very toyish feel.
This one actually feels good. It looks toyish, but it feels good in your hand. So, I mean, props to them for that. It's got a comfortable grip. Everything's accessible. It's pretty tight. It's responsive for sure. You can adjust them back a little bit, and once I learned that, I did feather back the throttle just a tad for my personal driving style. Overall, it's a great little truck. If you're getting into intro and you want something that, you know, is pretty durable, comes with 2 batteries. It came with 2 chargers for 2 batteries, which is crazy. We had a blast with it. You know, you're going to get 20, 30 minutes of runtime out of it. What more do you need than that at a time? Like, really. Overall, I like it. Is it worth the money? For sure. Like I said, intro people, great little truck to get into. There's lots of competition coming out in this scale now. So if you're not wanting to drop bigger money on one of the big name trucks, you know, you may want to look at this because it's a performer. Like, all in all, it's hard to beat.
Yeah, and lastly, we really got to thank, oh God, I really hope I say it right, HAIBOXING, or I really hope I say it right. We really got to thank you guys for reaching out to us and giving us the opportunity to do a review like this. We told you from the beginning we were going to give it an honest review, positive or negative, and we don't really have a lot of negative to say about it, so congratulations to you. You made a great little rig, and I don't think I have anything else to say besides when it dries up, we're going to take it off the ramps again. But as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, interact, comment, whatever you got. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.